A young SDSU student shares her story of rape right on campus, hoping to help others.
A field trip for jurors in the case against a former La Mesa police officer, why they left the courtroom and where they went today.
And what News 8 Investigates is learning from the last known location of a woman who went missing out of San Diego nearly a month ago.
The city of San Diego is about ready to decide what to do with the huge plot at the sports arena site in the Midway District.
And meet the 70-year-old artist who finally turned a profit.
News 8 at 6 starts right now.
She says she was raped on campus at San Diego State University and that the school and justice system failed her. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
And I'm Jesse Pecan. Marcella Lee has the night off. The SDSU student shares her story with News 8's Kirsten Holmes and says her goal is to raise awareness, hoping that what happened to her and the fallout afterward doesn't happen to anyone else.
Kirsten Holmes joins us now live at SDSU with more. Kirsten?
Yeah, I'm here at San Diego State University where Jordan, the woman you're about to hear from, says back in September she was raped in her dorm room on this very campus. I have in my hand a redacted copy of the police report from SDSU. Jordan says as if living and surviving rape wasn't horrific enough, she says she was failed by the university and by the San Diego District Attorney's Office after she came forward because her accuser, or her attacker, was able to flee the country without being held responsible.
There was a lot of strangulation and I was honestly really fearful for my life because he had me in a really intense chokehold around my neck to the point where I couldn't breathe. I thought that was going to be it.
Jordan Rosenquist says she was raped by an acquaintance, an international student from Dubai who lived in her dormitory, and her experience on campus in the weeks after.
I was known as the girl who called rape. He played the victim by faking panic attacks, and that was disheartening to see because he was victimizing himself. He would scream my name through the walls, yell sort of threats.
And that's why Jordan says she tried to do everything she could to ensure some sense of justice.
I hadn't even taken a shower, brushed my teeth, washed my face, anything. I was just sitting in it. And I had all of that evidence plus witness statements, a really cohesive police report. The burden of proof for sexual assault cases is extraordinarily high. I've never heard of an admission of guilt being a requirement to prosecute something. That's not the case for other heinous crimes, so why should it be the case for sexual assault?
While Jordan says she did what she could to find some sense of justice, she says her attacker, who she chose not to name in our interview, tormented her.
He lived in the room right above mine and would harass me every single day, even though I had a restraining order, and I would complain for about 3 weeks to various people in SDSU's administration, and they didn't really do anything until he moved out and disenrolled from the university and fled back to his country. He doesn't have any sort of accountability for his actions. Even if the DA did prosecute him and charges did go through, there's no extradition agreement that the United States has with Dubai, so we couldn't get him back.
Now Jordan says she's sharing her story to hopefully change the policy for reporting and prosecuting rape and hold the San Diego DA and SDSU accountable.
I felt like SDSU should have dealt with it more swiftly and taken it a lot more seriously. We reached out to San Diego State University about this story. They sent us this statement saying, in part, quote, while the university cannot comment on an active investigation, we can provide details related to the protocol when a Title IX complaint, which includes allegations of sexual assault, is made. Their statement goes on to say they provide students with assistance and full support and monitor and oversee overall compliance with the laws. We have their full statement, which outlines their protocol on our website if you're interested. It'll be on CBS8.com. Just look for this story. We also reached out to the San Diego DA's office on this story. We received a statement back from them that says they are reviewing this case for possible prosecution. SDSU PD says that because this case is still under investigation, they can't provide any details or comment any further.
A fugitive warrant has been issued for the parents of the teenager accused of killing 4 classmates at his Michigan high school. They each now face 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter.
Police are trying to find them after they missed a court appearance today and stopped responding to their attorneys. Prosecutors say James and Jennifer Crumbly gave their son the gun he used in the shooting, buying it just days before on Black Friday. They allege that the Crumbleys ignored warnings from teachers after their son was found looking up ammunition online at school. Teachers also found drawings on his desk with a gun, blood, and the words, "The thoughts won't stop. Help me."
That a parent could read those words and also know that their son had access to a deadly weapon that they gave him is unconscionable, and I think it's criminal. It is criminal.
Prosecutors say after a meeting with school officials on the day of the shooting about their son's behavior, Jennifer Crumbly texted her son, quote, "Don't do it." Each count the parents face carries up to 15 years in prison.
County officials are reporting a spike in local COVID cases, they say, as a result of Thanksgiving gatherings. 1,153 new cases are being reported tonight. That's compared to daily case counts in the 600s for the previous 2 days. Officials say they don't think it's due to the Omicron variant, but because of San Diegans getting together on Thanksgiving. They expect continued increases through the holiday season. The search for a missing woman from Indiana is leading investigators to the South Bay. Latasha Norris and her boyfriend Joey Smith have not been seen or heard from in 4 weeks. News 8's David Gottfredson followed their trail on social media to Chula Vista.
The trail to the missing couple from Indiana leads along the trolley tracks from downtown San Diego to Chula Vista. On Thursday, San Diego police released this surveillance video of 20-year-old Latasha Norris and her 25-year-old boyfriend, Joey Smith. It was recorded 1 month ago at a 7-Eleven store not far from the Imperial Avenue trolley station. Nobody would have known the couple stopped at that 7-Eleven store late at night on November 4th if it wasn't for a random meeting on the street in front of the store. That's where a high school friend of Norris from Anderson, Indiana, was walking by and recognized her. News 8 spoke to the woman who says she gave Norris a hug and asked her what she was doing in San Diego. Norris responded she and her boyfriend were heading to Chula Vista. The couple has not been seen since. Back at the trolley tracks in Chula Vista, take a look at this photo, posted on Facebook by Joey Smith, the boyfriend, days before they went missing. This is the actual location where the photo was taken, along the trolley tracks at F Street with a homeless encampment nearby. News 8 saw no sign of Norris or Smith in the area. Then there's this photo, apparently posted by Smith on November 13th. It was taken at the Keg and Bottle liquor store on H Street. The owner tells News 8 San Diego police already scanned through all of his surveillance video and found no sign of Smith. It's unclear exactly when the photo was taken. So, at least 3 leads point towards Chula Vista. If you have seen Latasha Norris or her boyfriend, Joey Smith, call San Diego police.
Now, David, is Norris's mother still in town searching for Latasha?
Yes, she flew out here from Indiana last week, and not coincidentally, she's now staying in a hotel in Chula Vista.
All right, David Gottfredson on this disappearance from the start. David, thank you for that update.
Leaders at Sandag are looking for an alternative to a county mileage tax proposal. The public agency had originally proposed charging residents 4 cents per mile driven to help fund a long-term transportation plan that includes free public transit. But after getting strong pushback from the public, several Sandag board members are expressing their concerns. They say they will look for ways to fund the plan without a mileage tax.
You have just a few days to apply for San Diego's first guaranteed income program. The nonprofit called San Diego for Every Child just got $1.4 million from the state for the project. Participating families that live in Encanto, Paradise Hills, National City, and San Isidro will get $500 every month for 2 years. The deadline to apply is Monday.
The king tides are making a splash along California's coastline that includes right here in San Diego.
Yeah, and while they're a marvel to watch, they've also got some importance. News 8's Abby Alford shows us why.
The high king tide doesn't have to steal the show at low tide. It brings out plenty of families and children to view sea creatures you wouldn't normally see.
Friends, come over here, there's more seaweed and it's not that deep.
As 7-year-old Maverick Tom, his mom Jennifer, and little sister Melrose show me the hair slug they found.
I think it moved a little bit.
You think it moved?
The slug already slithered its way through the La Jolla tide pool Friday afternoon when the lowest tide reached below a foot during the king tide event.
Well, we stumbled upon it on accident last year, and so ever since we've been Googling when the king tides are every year, and I marked it on my calendar like a geek.
Earlier in the morning, the high king tide hit Imperial Beach. National Weather Service meteorologist Alex Tardy says king tides happen about 3 times a year during the fall and winter, when there are the highest of high tides and the lowest of low tides.
And only certain times of the year, the fall and early winter, does the moon and the earth and our oceans line up exactly right in order to get that much pull. It's a lot of water being pulled across the Pacific Ocean and up to our shores.
This weekend, you won't see what we've seen in years past when you combine king tides with swells and high surf, but you could see some flooding.
You will see parking lots, low-lying areas, and like I said, the beaches will be pretty much gone in most places because 7 feet is a lot.
That's about 6 to 7 feet higher than a low tide. Even if the king tides look underwhelming, researchers say it's important.
We're asking people to go out and safely photograph those high tides for us.
Annie Kohut-Frankel manages the California King Tide Project that studies the event to better understand climate change impact on sea level rise.
That gives us a glimpse into the future. It helps us visualize what future sea level rise will look like, because that 1 to 2 feet increase is what we're expecting to see within the next few decades.
Whether you like your beach covered or you like a lot of beach and tide pools, the next low king tide is tomorrow afternoon around 3 o'clock.
Better than any science lab you could get in school, in my opinion.
The National Weather Service says the peak of the high king tide will be tomorrow morning around 8 a.m. It'll reach about 7 feet. The next king tide event will be in early January.
All right, Abby, thank you. And as you just saw there, they always generate quite the buzz around these parts.
It's just very cool and unique to see that water just go all the way out. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis.
All the way back in.
All the way back in. Joins us tonight for a closer look as it's rolling back in. Yes.
That's right. So we are talking about the king tides. And yes, tomorrow morning during the time frame of the 8 o'clock hour, we will have that extra pull in our morning high tides. And that's going to be due to the new moon. So that alignment bringing in that extra pull. And so we're going to have the surf up to, the high tide up to about 7 feet. So that's going to be the case as we go into this weekend. Something to be mindful of is we're not dealing with elevated surf with this. So any tidal flooding that we see would be flood-prone beaches like Cardiff State Beach. Also talking about that for Imperial Beach. And those low tides, they're going to be between 3 to 4:30 tomorrow and also on Sunday.